I'm aware I want to be, in terms of my weight, I had given myself a goal weight. I wanted to be back to my pre-pregnancy weight, which I definitely got to my pre-pregnancy weight. So shout out to my trainer for helping me achieve that goal. So now I just want to tone up. I want to be like super tight and I want abs, and it just sucks because I see girls don't really have to go work out. They just go get surgery and stuff. And I'm over here like, I'm trying to do it naturally.
I guess after baby number 3, Jackie believed that the gym couldn't fix everything this time. Being 32, 33 years old, her last baby, the baby boy, won't be a year old until July, but she thought it was the right time to go under the knife for a mommy makeover, which is multiple surgeries in one. It could be a breast lift, tummy tuck, BBL. The operations she had are unclear. Her surgeon of choice was in Miami. That's Dr. Zachary Oka.
Hey, it's Dr. Zach.
For women, we know beauty and youth are commodities that they exchange for status, money, security, celebrity, etc. And by the way, that is the entire premise of the Beauty is a Bad Investment video. The entire premise is when you are deemed the most beautiful, when you are deemed the most desirable, people bestow upon you a certain degree of social power. But it's a fake power, it is a fleeting power, an ephemeral power. And so, yeah, use it while you got it, but you certainly should not base your entire life, build your life upon the expectation that that power is going to last. That's why it's a bad investment. If you are a woman and you are building your life around the bad currency, meaning it's depreciating, if you're building your life around the bad currency of beauty or desirability, you're making a mistake. You're investing in the wrong things. There are long-term returns are not going to see you through. We see it again and again and again.
There's always a trade-off in life. I don't believe that you can go for something and give up nothing. You know, I don't believe that if you choose to get surgery and you go that route, that it's free and there's no consequences and you get that thing and that thing doesn't require anything of you. I don't believe in that. I think that whatever it is, whether it's surgery or whether it's you going to the gym, it is going to require something of the person. The person is going to have to be willing to give something up. So people trade getting surgery for all types of things. They trade getting surgery for getting money because it costs money. They trade it for time. They have to maybe take time off of work because of the surgery. They trade getting surgery for satisfaction, to be more comfortable in their body. They trade getting surgery for attention because perhaps with some people, they want more attention. They want to be seen. They trade getting surgery for enhanced body parts, for pain, because in most cases, surgery is painful. They trade it for complications because anyone who goes that route is fully aware, and the surgeon is supposed to make the person aware that surgery can lead to complications. And it doesn't mean that the surgeon did anything wrong. It could just be a complication as a result of you getting surgery on your body. But the thing no one thinks about, and we all want to, of course, hope never happens, is that a person would trade getting surgery for death. And if you are choosing to get surgery and you're signing the documents and hopefully reading the fine print, everyone who has gone down that path should be aware that death is a potential consequence of getting any type of surgery. No matter what surgery it is. I mean, you can get an infection. Like, there's a lot of things that could happen from going down the path of getting surgery. What usually happens when someone gets plastic surgery in particular is that, the process right after the surgery, like the first day or the first few days or maybe even the first week or two, it's rare to see that. I mean, anytime a woman has posted, like while she was in the vehicle heading from the surgery center to the airport, and in pain, those clips always go viral because it's so shocking and jarring for us to see that. It is rare for us to see those moments right after a person has surgery, when they just leave the hospital or just leave the surgery center and heading to the hotel room or wherever they're going, heading home. Those moments are, and I don't know this from personal experience, but I can imagine those moments are very low moments. You're in a lot of pain. You're probably scared. You're probably questioning if you should have done that, if your results are going to turn out the way you hope. And there's a lot of things I would imagine that goes through one's mind. And we rarely see that. So the process is painful. To say the least, that process is painful. And as we may have heard, there is no elevator to beauty, only stairs. And what that means is that, whether you go the natural route, you eat healthy, you exercise, or you go the surgery route, none of it is easy. I'm going to talk about why the surgery route isn't particularly easy as people think it is. So there's really no such thing as a little nip and tuck. The term, when you say little, the word little implies something that I don't think is true. I don't believe that any surgery that you get is small. And I think when people say that they're going for a little nip and a little tuck, it is probably a very light way of describing it, because what they're actually going to do is very serious. And before I talk about Jackie O, I do want to mention something about Erica Campbell. You all, and I have my fan here, you all probably know Erica Campbell from Mary Mary and reality TV and radio and many other things that she does. And Erica Campbell was on Tamron Hall. This might have been about a year ago, and talked about how she had liposuction done. And she was, she kind of described pretty gruesome scene of her being in a hotel room and bleeding all over the place and just being very scared. And I remember her saying that she wished she would have just worked out. Jackie O actually did just work out. And so that's probably another video to get into the nuances there. Jackie O, I would say, Jackie O, who is, honestly, I was not familiar with Jackie O. One of my friends sent me the article that she passed. This might have been a week ago or so. And I actually didn't know who she was. Jackie O is, I guess you can say, was an influencer and I believe a model, also an actress. I know she was on the show Wild and Out, and also the wife of DC Young Fly, who is a rapper. And she is of mixed race, in case anyone's wondering. She is, I think I read that she has Brazilian roots, but essentially her dad is Black and her mom, I believe, is white. And so she passed away from a mommy makeover, and has been reported that she actually passed in a hotel room. And so, after Jackie O passed, I went to her YouTube channel and watched one of her last videos. She not too long ago posted a try-on haul, and she was just trying on clothes. And I couldn't help but think, wow, she looks amazing. Even after having 3 children, I mean, she looks arguably better than women who have no children. So I was curious as to why did she feel like she needed to get a mommy makeover? And I know that that's just my opinion. And I obviously was not living in her body. I don't know what type of insecurity she had. But, I just want to talk a little bit about the pressure and the pain of trying to be beautiful. And when I say trying to be, I mean, Jackie O, to me, is very beautiful. And to be honest, again, I don't know. I couldn't possibly see from her try on haul what it is that needed to be changed. And sometimes, again, we don't know if people have like body dysmorphic disorder, or, we all know that just by having children, of course, children do change your body. And so maybe there could be things that, she wants to improve. But I think what I want to challenge here is the pain of beauty and this idea that, to constantly keep up, not only with the beauty standards of society or the beauty standards that women think that men have. I'm not saying that men even always have these standards for real women. They might have standards for like strippers or, or prostitutes, but I don't necessarily always know that men have certain standards for real women. I think most real men are aware that real women, especially who have children, are not going to have perfect bodies. But I think it's this pressure of women either trying to keep up with the industry or keeping up with other women or competing with their own ideals that they have in their own minds of what a pretty or attractive woman looks like. There is a particular kind of pain associated with that. And, it's interesting because if you want to talk about pain, there's an emotional pain and then there's a physical pain when it comes to beauty standards. We could talk about the emotional pain that many Black women feel when they realize that they're not the standard of beauty. That there's an emotional pain that comes with watching other women who might be the quote unquote standard of beauty and realizing that you're not. There's also an emotional pain with with feeling like you have to keep up for whatever reason. And this could potentially be Jackie O's situation where there was she's in the industry, she has a lot of eyes on her. And I think there's a particular type of sort of, even if you don't call it pain, but maybe discomfort with being the one that, doesn't have the smallest waist or doesn't have the biggest butt or the biggest boobs or whatever it is, people are going for. And I think the emotional pain is oftentimes overlooked and the emotional pain is oftentimes not considered. And I think that is where it all begins is there. There is pain associated with hearing women pick themselves apart. I've been guilty of this, picking myself apart. There is a pain and an uncomfortability with hearing women self-loathe and make self-deprecating comments about their bodies and the way they look. And, I just want us to really think about that. So when you talk about beauty being painful, I think sometimes it can be emotionally painful. And that emotion can cause a woman to go as far as getting surgery. And, I think it could also be, psychological. There's a lot of different components to it. But of course, there's a physical pain. And the physical pain is something I'll probably talk about in another video. But even as simple as like wearing uncomfortable high heels or a wig that's too tight or weave or braids that are too tight. There's a lot of ways that women are socialized that beauty is pain. So you see women limping around. I mean, I know we've all been out and seen women with shoes on that hurt their feet and they're limping around. Or like I said, sleeping a certain way because your braids are too tight or your weave is too tight. Wearing a waist trainer that is super uncomfortable and like that literally is stabbing you in the sides of, the sides of your stomach. And you take it off and you have creases and marks and you're red. And I mean, so many women can tell many stories about pain and that pain being associated with some sort of beauty standard. And I think that's kind of the beginning of it. And then if you're willing to endure the uncomfortable shoes and the waist trainers and the tight weaves, then what's the next level? You know, will you then endure the pain of lipo? Will you endure the pain of, you know, a tummy tuck or a breast lift or, you know, breast implants and then having to go through that healing process? Once you start believing that beauty is painful, I think it can, you know, lead you down a particular path, perhaps. And I'm not saying that beauty is or should be painful. I don't think it should be. I just think it is for a lot of women. And so, you know, it's something that I think that we should continue to examine. So rest in peace to Jackie O. It's just really sad, you know, to know that her kids, her 3 beautiful children, do not have a mom. And yeah, it's just, again, very painful to think about. So really quick for this segment, what content creators never tell you. For my business, Curated Legacy LLC. For those of you who don't know, I have a coaching and consulting business. And so if you're interested in sharing your story, whether that be via content creation, or maybe you want to self-publish a book, or maybe there's another way you want to share your story, feel free to reach out to me. And what I want to do real quick here is, you know, because I posted in the community chat this week about a book that I finished reading called Heavy. And it's by Kiese Layman. I listened to the Audible version, which I recommend because his cadence is like out of this world. And, you know, it's just interesting reading the perspective of a Black man and his relationship to his body. And I think that as Black people, but particularly as Black people, we have a very complex relationship, not only to this country, but to our bodies being in this country. And I'm going to be breaking that down a little bit more. But one aspect of that I wanted to highlight here is when you're trying to determine, you know, say if you want to write a book, or if you want to make content and you're wondering, what should I focus on? I want to talk quickly about listening to your audience. And for me, how this played out is that I created a video back in, maybe it was October of 2022, and it was called The BBL Epidemic Didn't Save Us. And it was essentially about, you know, the things that I talk about quite often, body image and surgery. And it got a pretty good response, got about 17,000 views. And what I realized is that, what I asked myself is, why did people feel compelled to click on this video? And it got so many views, more than some of my other videos and other topics. And I'm still trying to answer that question. I think I have some answers, I think. But what I want to highlight here is that it is really critical for you to listen to your audience. Not only did my BBL video get video, not about me getting a BBL, but about me sort of talking about the BBL epidemic. Not only did it get a lot of views, but it also got, you know, like I said, a lot of comments and a lot of engagement and interest. And that's something that as an artist or whatever you want to do, you need to be paying attention to that. And similarly with Heavy not only is a great book, but it's a lot of people know about it. A lot of people have read it. A lot of people have purchased it. And I think that there's something to be said about openly talking about body image and body image issues. And I think that there's a taboo-ness about it. And I think I'm still unpacking it, but there's something there in terms of why is this topic so intriguing to people? Why is it that people want to know more? And I just want to say that when it comes to listening to your audience can just be 5 or 10 or 50 people. You know, it doesn't have to be a big audience. But when people say that, well, you're making this content for clicks and views, and not that anyone has said that, but if people are thinking that, you have to ask yourself, well, are you making content for clicks and views? And, you know, or are you actually just listening to your audience and making content that people that people are curious about, and making content that people will click on because there's something in that video that they want to know about? So I just wanted to kind of challenge that. You know, I've been thinking lately about my content. And again, if you are an artist, a writer, someone who makes content or wants to make content, I wanted to share this process in terms of how I landed on talking about body image and plastic surgery and things like that, because it seems to be something that people want to know about. So stay tuned for more. And like, share, and subscribe. Click the links in the description if you want to know more about my business, Curated Legacy LLC. Naka here to make the invisible visible. And as always, stay tuned for more videos. Bye-bye.